Tom Thumb.
Once upon a time, in a far, far away land, there lived a family of woodcutters and their 7 sons. The woodcutters were very, very, very poor. Very, very poor. They didn't have any food. And they had 7 sons, so a lot of mouths to feed. One of them was so tiny, so tiny, so tiny that they called him Little Thumb, because he was so tiny, just like a thumb. And they all wore red hats. The 7 brothers looked very nice because they were very cute, and they all had 7 hats. One day the father said, "Oh, dear sons, come with me to the forest and I will try to find some wood, and you have to try to find something to eat because we are very, very hungry." So that's what they did. They went to the forest. The father started to cut wood. There wasn't a lot of wood, but tried to cut a little bit of wood. And Little Thumb and the other 6 brothers, 7 in total, went to look for food, anything. They were very hungry. But Little Thumb thought, "I'm going to leave some little pieces of bread on the floor so that we can find our way home, because if not, they would get lost." But you and I know what happens with little pieces of bread. Insects eat it, animals eat it. So of course, when they wanted to go back home, they couldn't. They were lost, completely lost, because the bread had been eaten by flies, by ants, by insects, by animals. And it was cold, very, very, very cold, and they were very, very hungry and very frightened. And they were trying and trying and trying, walking through the forest to find their way home. But they couldn't. And the forest, you know, full with trees and green, was getting deeper and deeper and deeper and darker and darker and darker. And the brothers were saying, "Oh, we are going to die of hunger. We are going to die of cold. Oh!" And Little Thumb said, "No way, no way, we are not going to die. We are going to survive. We have to think, we have to think. Let's think." Because he was very intelligent, you know. "Let's think." And suddenly, they saw a light. It was a house, a big, very, very big house. So they went to the house. And Little Thumb and the other 6 brothers, 7 in total, knocked at the door. Knock, 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 knock. And the very nice lady opened the door. But, you know, she wasn't very happy to see them. She said, "Oh, my darlings, please go home, go home. My husband is an ogre." You know an ogre? A terrible, terrible monster. Big, with a big nose and ugly eyes and big ears and hairy and hairy and hairy. Ugh, disgusting. "Go home, my darlings. My husband is an ogre, please go home, please go home." But Little Thumb said, "Please, please, madam, let us stay, because in the forest the wolves will eat us and the owls are scary. Please, 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 let us stay. Please, 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 pretty please. Pretty please, pretty please." So the ogre's wife, who was a good lady, said, "Okay, come in, but shh, hide. My husband cannot see you. You have to hide, you have to hide." But suddenly they could hear that the ogre was coming down. He was going down the stairs, and you could hear clong, clong, with his big, magical, special boots that could go miles and miles and miles. They were fantastic boots. Clonk, clonk. The wife was very frightened and very scared, because she didn't want the ogre, her terrible, evil husband, to find the 7 little children. "Oh, hello, my darling. How are you? How are you, my darling ogre? How are you?" that he could smell something. And his nose started growing and growing and growing. And it grew, so he smelled and smelled and smelled. I can smell children. Children, my darling, that's impossible. I have a raw, a fantastic raw in the oven waiting for you. You can smell the raw, you can smell that. No, I can smell children. And he was sure, he was convinced about this. And you and I know the problem about fear. If you are very, very, very frightened, you sweat, and you sweat, and you sweat. And sweat is very easy to smell. So every time it was more clear for the ogre. I can smell children! Where are you? Where are you? So he found one child and another child, and so and so and so. He found 6 of them, except Little Thumb, because Little Thumb was very intelligent and he had hid very well. But he wasn't going to leave his 6 brothers alone, so he came out. And he was so big that he could hold them with one hand. I'm going to eat you. I'm going to eat you after the roar. The wife was so scared, so he walked with his big boots and special, important magic boots, and he left the 7 children inside the room. But he said, there are 7 beds, and you will sleep here. But don't wake up my 7 beautiful ogre daughters, because if you do, I will make everything more painful for you. They were so scared that they just went into bed, and they were very, very scared. And he closed the door. The ogre closed the door and locked it. And the 6 brothers were, oh, he's going to eat us! The ogre's going to eat us! But Little Thumb said, no, we have to think. We have to think. He won't eat us. We just have to think. But Little Thumb had a fantastic idea, an excellent idea. He thought, the 7 ogre daughters are wearing a crown. You know, a crown, a golden crown, like kings and queens. And we are wearing red hats. Ding! He thought, let's exchange the hats, and he will think that we are his daughters, and he won't eat us. Hooray, hooray! So this was a fantastic idea. But the 6 brothers thought, we are not going to wear the crowns. They are girly. Shut up and put them on. So they exchanged. The red hats went to the ogre heads, and the crowns went to the 7 brothers. And they covered themselves with the blanket from here. So there, the ogre could only see the crowns and the hats, nothing else. But everything was dark, so he only had to touch. So later, the evil, bad ogre comes, clunk, clunk. He says, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. And he touched. These are not my daughters. Here are the 7 boys. I'm going to eat them. And he ate them all. He ate the 7 boys. Well, not boys. He actually ate his daughters. He ate his daughters. Can you imagine eating his own daughters? So Little Thumb said, we have to escape because the ogre will find out that he hasn't eaten us. We have to go away. We have to go away. But Little Thumb thought, we have to steal the magical Mile boots, and that way we will be able to escape. So very, very silently, they stole the boots, and they ran so quickly, miles and miles and miles and miles. And thank God they got to the castle and they wanted to see the king. And they said, "King, oh, your majesty, the ogre is following us. You can catch him, you can catch him." And the ogre was following. "Ah, where are you? Come here!" But thank God, the soldiers covered the ogre, surrounded him, and they caught him. Because that ogre was very bad, you know. He was bad for the 7 brothers, for the king, for the kingdom, for everybody. So the king was so happy. He said, "How can I pay you? How can I help you? How? Tell me what I can do." And Little Thumb, who was very intelligent, he said, "We would like some money, we would like some gold, we would like some little bags of gold, 1 each." So 7 gold bags. They had 7 gold bags. They went back home. And the woodcutter and his wife were so happy. "Oh, my darlings, my darlings." And remember that they were very poor. Remember, they didn't have any money at all. They didn't have anything to eat. They didn't have anything at all. They were so happy to see those 7 bags of gold. They were happy to see their children. They were happy to have money to eat and to live. And they were happy, very happy forever after.